In today's video, we're going to have a conversation about breakfast. What do you normally have for breakfast?
Well, during the week, Monday to Friday, I normally have cereals with cold milk. Normally we have semi-skimmed milk. We like the flavour of that. I don't add any sugar. Up until recently I added honey, but I've stopped that now. And sometimes I add a banana. I slice a banana on top of the cereals.
What about at the weekend?
On Saturday, I usually get up a little later, so I like to have toast, and sometimes I have jam on it, strawberry jam, or other times I might have some peanut butter. It just depends how I feel. Then on Sundays, I like to have a traditional English breakfast, and that includes a fried egg, or maybe 2 fried eggs, mushrooms, sausages, cooked tomatoes, and maybe some toast or fried bread. Because on a Sunday, if I have this for breakfast, then I don't need to eat anything until late afternoon. So I can do lots of activities or watch TV, or I can do anything. I've got a free day then.
Have you tried anything new recently?
Yes, a few weeks ago we bought a very large pot of yoghurt, and so I started having yoghurt on my cereals from Monday to Friday, and it was surprisingly nice. I have had this before when we've been on holiday at an all-inclusive resort, and people from Germany, I think, they have yoghurt on their cereal instead of milk. So I've enjoyed that, to try something new. And then recently we picked some blackberries and I cooked a few of those and added those to my cereals. So I don't mind trying something new every now and then.
And what do you never have for breakfast? I've never seen you eat bacon for breakfast.
No, I'm not a big fan of bacon, although people do have it on the traditional English breakfast that people have on a Sunday. No, I've never liked bacon.
And what about chocolate cereals? Because I don't think I've ever seen you have them.
No, I really don't like chocolate cereals. I think it's unnecessary. It makes the cereals feel unhealthy, and they're very sweet, so I would avoid those. I just don't think it's a good idea.
And do you have tea or coffee in the morning?
Yes, when we first get up, I have a cup of tea, but I don't have it with my breakfast. We have a cup of tea at maybe 7:30 or 8 o'clock, and then about half an hour later, I would have my breakfast. I don't like to have a cup of tea with a meal. I don't think it goes, really.
When would you have a cup of coffee?
Sometimes we have coffee at about 11 o'clock, but we only normally have one a day. Some people love coffee and they have coffee all through the day, but we have to remind ourselves to have coffee because we're not big fans of it, but we have got it in the cupboard.
How many cups of tea do you have per day?
Normally we limit it to 5 cups, but that might include the coffee as well. So 5 cups of hot drink with caffeine in it per day. But then on a cold evening we might have a hot chocolate just to finish off, so they're nice and warm before we go to bed.
Do you even have cups of tea on a hot summer day?
Oh yes, it's a fact that a cup of tea can cool you down. I can't remember the reason why, but it's something about regulating your body temperature. They did studies. I saw a TV programme where someone was very, very hot and they gave him a cup of tea, and then later on they gave him a cold drink, and the effect was that his body cooled down more with the hot drink. but I don't know how realistic that is really. But it was an interesting programme.
And do you like having breakfast? Because I don't like having breakfast in the morning.
Yes, I really enjoy breakfast, especially if I add a banana or a teaspoon of honey or other fruits, because it can make for really interesting flavours, and it's not like any other meal that you have during the day. So, and it should fill you up. You should feel full until lunchtime, although I rarely do because I'm nearly always hungry.
And why do you think that some people don't like having breakfast?
I think that maybe some people eat their main meal very late in the evening. So if they're eating a big meal at 9 or 10 o'clock in the evening, then they're full in the morning, so they don't feel the need to eat anything. So we have our main meal maybe about 6 o'clock, and then we might have a small snack at 9 o'clock. So when we wake up in the morning, we're hungry and we feel like we need some food. So I think it's like a cultural difference, really. Some countries eat very late and others don't.
When I wake up early, I don't like having breakfast, but at the weekend I do. Because
maybe you've spent a longer time in bed and so you're ready to eat something later. Yeah.
So you said that you like to have a full English breakfast on Sundays. Do you think that everyone does that?
No, I don't think it's very common these days. There is a restaurant chain that does a very cheap full English breakfast, and people will go out to eat this. It's very popular.
How much does it cost?
I think it's about £4, including a drink, tea, coffee or hot chocolate, I suppose.
That's very cheap.
Yes, and that's why people go out to eat it, because if you think about the ingredients, you've got egg, bacon, sausage, beans, mushrooms, hash browns, maybe fried bread or toast. By the time you've cooked all of these ingredients, then they're not all going to be hot at the same time. So it's much easier to go to a restaurant and buy it, because that's crazy to have it that cheap. But if you're only making a few ingredients at home, then it's okay. But to recreate the whole full English breakfast, it takes a lot of work, really. And by the time you've sat down to eat it, you might not feel like eating it.
Because if we went to a restaurant now to have a hamburger, it would cost about £12 plus £3 for a drink.
Yes, yeah. So that's more expensive than making it at home. You can easily replicate that at home. But the full English breakfast, it is lovely when you sit down and someone brings it to you on the plate and it's all there. And they do a vegetarian and a vegan option as well, which for not much more money. It's very good.
When did you last have it at a restaurant?
Probably about 4 or 5 months ago, I think. Yeah, I think we should have it again soon. You forget how nice it is. But then when we're talking about it now, I think we should go soon.
I think it must be hard for people who come to London or England to try it, because they wouldn't really know what time to have it.
No, that's true. I think when we took some foreign students with us to have the full English breakfast, we had it at about 11:30 in the morning. And we had previously eaten cereals in the morning. So they said, is this lunch? No. And we said, no, it's not lunch. It's too early for lunch. Well, it's not breakfast. We had breakfast. What is it? What is it? So we just said, well, it's English breakfast. Just eat it. And they really enjoyed it. We said they could leave any foods that they didn't like, and they ate everything. So that was excellent. It was their first experience of a full English breakfast.
Thank you. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.